college is a lot different from high school for most people. Most people, when you're in high school, you know, the teacher's there to guide you along. A lot of stuff in college, it's up to you.
Yeah.
So, this right here is basically where the camera shoots towards me. So, welcome to SATVideos.com. We're also on YouTube. You can find us at YouTube/Mr. Math. That's a good one. And you can use any sort of book. It's pretty standard. Tell me, how much calculus is on the SAT?
0.
0. No calculus. All right. So, what else is on the SAT? Can we come up with some ideas?
Geometry, algebra.
Geometry and algebra. Okay. So I like talking about shapes and relationships. See, like it's either, you know, we get more of this, then we get more of that. Or the more we get of this, the less we get of that. Right? That's a relationship. Okay. So we've got shapes, we've got relationships. What else do we talk about in math? Graphing. Okay.
Functions.
Graphing and functions. Wow, you guys talk like math teachers. Goodness. Anything else? What do they do to you? Like, you know, what is the chance that something will happen?
Probability.
That's what they told you to do. If you had a graph, they usually have a lot of data. So, and then they have these silly things like, please excuse.
Nigerian salad.
Isn't that funny? That's all you have to say, right? Yeah. So they have some of those. That's basically the SAT on the math side. Now, let's think about what you have to study for the verbal. Sentences. Okay. What else? They have these sentences and you're supposed to put in words? Is that the idea?
Yeah, you have to like put commas where they're supposed to go and make sure that they're...
Okay, so we've got commas and sentences. Anything else? Vocabulary. Oh boy, yeah. Here's the tip. About 80% of the reading section is vocabulary. Are you supposed to read first and then answer the questions?
Read.
What?
Read the questions and read the thing and then answer the questions.
Yeah, you can actually get away without having to read the entire passage. There's usually 3 questions that say, on line 3, the word avarice means. So, there's a quick point right there. Will you guys be taking the computerized or the paper version?
That's paper version.
Paper version. Right? You got a piece of paper, you're sitting in a big room and everybody watches you, right? Okay. Any tips that you can give me about how to use the paper version? Anybody, have you tried this before? No? Anybody have an idea? What is a tip that you can use with paper that you can't use with the computer?
Like to mark the sentences and
As you're reading it, you know, just mark it. I mean, it's really hard on the screen, right?
Yeah.
So, it's nice having a person who's done the SAT. You 3 haven't, right? No.
Tried it.
You've tried it once? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
once.
Good. All right. You've tried it too? Okay. So, sometimes it helps if each other becomes study buddies, or you guys can have your own buddy. I don't know if your mom wants to be your partner or whatever, but often it's great to have parents as partners in a very simple sense. This list called FreeVocabulary.com. We're talking right now about vocab. This is the big tip. I mean, this is like, you know, they'd say, this is worth $160, just this one tip. You go to any vocabulary site. I've selected FreeVocabulary. You can get vocabulary sometimes by flipping through and finding, oh, there's a word I don't know. That's one way to get vocabulary too. In some way, you want to get vocabulary and just cram it into you. It's mostly by exposing yourself to words you don't know. Typically on these vocab lists, you can get like 50 words on a page. That one has 5,000 words, 100 pages, 50 words a page. And you print maybe 3 pages off. And you do that like maybe twice a week, get some of those pages done. The reason I say that is that you'll get through, in 1 week, you can get through 6 pages. And let's say that you go for 8 weeks, now you've gone about 48 pages. That's pretty good, about halfway through. Let's go over here. This is, by here you'd get up to about 48 pages. And then you've got 2 more months, maybe you can get through the rest. You take the list, and there's 50 words. You hide the definitions. And then you cross out. The only way you can cross it out is if you can give a really good, I know that word, when it says parasol. What's parasol? P-A-R-A-S-O-L. Okay. Let's say parachute. What's a parachute? Anybody?
Yeah.
Oh, which one is that? Bottom one. Okay, that's a parachute. So you know it. Oh, okay, great. Get to cross it out. Parasol would be something you want to think. If you speak a little Spanish, tell me what that is.
Sun.
Sun. What's para, if you had to translate it? Pardon?
Stop.
Oh, that's true.
Or for.
Or for. So this is for. Don't say it. What did he say this is? Sun. Oh, so it's for the sun. It's not for the rain. Yeah, but it doesn't keep, if it rains, it gets soaked and it doesn't do very well. It doesn't have a special coating. Parasols are generally lighter, and they're bright color maybe. Whereas an umbrella is tougher material because it's being hit. And it's a parasol. So that would be something that, if your parent knew that word, they would tell you what I'm telling you, a little story, something, maybe it's a picture that's grabbing the attention. There's going to be something. They've found that there's actually a science of learning. What I'm giving you are principles of learning. There's this thing called the art of teaching. The art comes because some teachers decide, oh, I don't need to read this. Science is such a dull thing. I'll just teach from my heart and everybody will learn. I don't think so. If you know the science of learning, then the teaching becomes an art of knowing which string I have to pull to make the learning happen. I can sit here and teach and teach and teach, and you guys would say, wow, it was a really great lecture. And 6 months from now, it won't have done anything useful. I take the first part of this course. Remember, we meet for how many times?
4 times.
Well, is it 4?
Yeah.
So there's 3 hours. So that's 12 hours, right? So essentially, I'm stealing about I'm stealing about an hour of that time, for a lot of jabbering, because I want to get you guys in the mode. Most people show up to a class and they expect a lecture, and they take notes. I understand. but I'm going to be moving you to eventually be taking over the class. You guys will have many opportunities to participate, but I ask you, please don't shout out the answer usually, because someone else needs to. I just need to see that you get the answer, and then you can write it down or something like that. It's often the learning takes place when the person walks to the destination. If somebody comes along and gives you a ride in a car and say, here, I'll take you there, it's very nice, but we help each other by allowing them the time to get to the answer. What's this tip? Why would I say that this is important?
So you can improve your vocabulary.
That's part of it. And plus, we're getting you used to being... What's the purpose of getting a high score in the SAT?
Getting college.
Oh, getting college. Oh, okay. Have you heard about that college interview?
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you can ask for a college interview. I mean, I understand that there are some schools that, well, just make your application, But you can actually, if there's a college that you want to go to, you can go and visit the college. They would probably like you to actually visit the place and show that in addition to applying, I'm actually going to the college. Now, if you show up and you can't tell me who the Secretary of State is, right? If Hillary Clinton happens to be on that campus and you don't know who that person is, she's, senator or something, right? That's part of the reason for doing this. They have this theory that if you know a little about a lot of things, that can sometimes be an entry when they show you one of these, worms. Maybe there'll be something about worms. Now, you think, well, there could be a sea worm. I don't know, they're just talking about worms. Worms in Jamaica. Now, could there be sea worms in the waters around Jamaica? I don't know, because I know that there's more than one worm, right? So that's one of the values of reading magazines. And the other key is, according to the science of learning, I can decide to talk about something, but if you walk in here with some questions, you're more likely to remember whatever happened in that room 6 months later. And that's more or less why we really have to ask you to participate. I've been doing this for about 10 years. I've tutored. I worked for one of those cramming organizations. You pay like $800 and they make you sit down and take a test in the room. And they'll watch you. And I always thought that was funny because you guys could take your own test. They give 10 of them in that book. You guys can decide, okay, I'm going to turn on my clock and after 30 minutes I'm going to stop. So you could do that on your home. But they actually paid me to sit and watch you guys take a test. Now, if you want that, I can arrange for it. We'll do it before or after the class, but I would really like to use these 11 hours and 40 minutes to actually do some questions and to do the questions that you guys want to do. So I'm going to start with that. Let's just take out some paper, and if you don't have a book, sit with someone who has a book. And we're going to find at least one problem that you don't know how to do. And just try to work on it together. Struggle with it for at least a minute. No, for no more than a minute. And then we'll try to find the answer. So let's try that now.